everybody, Domestic Blend here again, and we are going to do the Rogue right now. The Rogue is a class that is based on, like, obviously sneak attacks, but those sneak attacks come in different ways. They're more like attacks of opportunity. Opportunity is the wrong word. I don't want to put that. It's like that's what engagement is in this game, but it's more like you lay status effects down on said target and you get sneak attacks against them, which increases your damage by 1.5 times 1.5. So if you do 10 damage, you're doing 15. If you're doing 20 damage, you're doing 30. And if you're sneak attacking, you're doing 30. Like, that's basically the way it works. So that's the simple way. We're going to run with an Orlan. We'll do an Elf for the Mage and Moon Godlike for the Chanter, which should come next if I can get through it without it crashing. This one gives you a bonus to convert hits over to crits, so we're going to run with that. The Rogue has 36 stamina and 12 health per level. It has a 15 deflection, has a 20 accuracy in melee, and a 15 accuracy in, or bonus to 15 in accuracy in ranged. They're still confident in both. I mean, 15's not that bad. It's not nearly as bad as, say, their accuracy gain in the IE games. The Rogues just were inconsistent with in that world. A lot of times they were just skill monkeys that followed your party around, and everyone knows that, which this game is seeking to remedy that and reducing the necessity of a rogue. But, you know, I always liked having a rogue in my party in the IE games. It was fun. I never had a problem with having a rogue. The best way to think about it is I think that they also required mages, and I didn't mind having a mage in my party either. The other 4 people could be really insanely diverse, and that was fine by me. But let's move on. Crippling Strike. You can use it twice in an encounter. It inflicts extra damage, and it hobbles. So, and you'll see why that matters in a second. You get Reckless Assault. It lowers his or her deflection in exchange for a bonus in accuracy and damage with all weapons, and it's a modal ability, so you can turn it off. Think of it like a frenzy stance, and when you turn it off, you go back into a more defensive stance. This is a really good thing if you are indeed being ignored, to run, and then when and if you pull the target off, or they start attacking you, you can turn it right back off. It's something you need to pay attention to, though, because the rogue is not as sturdy as some of the other classes, unless spec to be that way with the right armor and the right constitution, so on and so forth. Sneak attack. It applies a times 1.5 bonus to all attacks the rogue makes against blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stunned, or stuck, stunned, or weakened targets. And just to point out, hobbled is exactly what Crippling Strike lays on somebody, and you can do it twice in encounter. So you can constantly, with this class, do extra damage. Constantly. Like, and there are more abilities, like you get a blind at level 6, I do believe, or I can't remember. But it also applies to any target the rogue strikes first within the first 2 seconds, or the rogue strikes within the first 2 seconds of combat, and with a weapon, within the first 2 seconds of combat. They get a +1 in stealth. A few classes get that. Monks, I think, Ciphers, Rangers, they all get some stealth bonuses. I don't know if anyone else does. And they're the only one with a +2 in mechanics, so they still... Is it a huge boost over everybody else? No, but they're still easier, that you can spend less points and get them higher at mechanics than any other class in the game. So they still have a focus in that department. We're gonna go with a standard, well, I wouldn't say it's standard. What's standard? We don't know. Who knows what a standard build is in this game? But I'm gonna go with a fairly high dexterity for I'm just gonna go for as much damage as I can. and ignore most of the other stats, and within reason. And I'm going to pull one out of Dex and pop it here because guess what? I'm going to go with one of these other builds. I don't know which one I want to go with. Probably get more damage with Might, but we'll hit more often. And right now we're worried about critting, so let's... all hits turn into crits, so the more Dex we have, the better we are. And find that Cypher, or sorry, that Orlan picture next. And before we move on, sneak attack. See how it says 1.5 damage at the top there? You got 2 crippling strikes. They do 1.25 damage and apply the hobble, so they do more damage, and then you will do much more damage after that for as long as that lasts. Now, a point to make about intelligence with the rogue: crippling strikes will last longer, which means that so in theory we could back out and increase intelligence, and this effect will last longer and will keep up this damage amount for a longer period of time. It will make the class more bursty than what we have here. We'll consistently do more damage here, and then we'll hit like a short period of time where we do more damage, whereas with an intelligence build that crest would stay for longer. How much? Who knows? I think if you maxed in, it's something like a 50% increase. So if it's if you have a 20-second crippling strike by critting, they're gonna have 30 seconds of the effect. That's 30 seconds of 1.5 damage on every swing. I decided to go with a long weapon just to be different because we already have a dual-wielding rogue in the party, and he also has a bow, so we'll be able to see whatever we want to see in this. Modal, this is Reckless Strike. You lose deflection, and you gain melee and ranged accuracy, and melee and ranged damage by 10 and 5 respectively for accuracy and damage. So this is an awesome ability if you're not being focused by anybody. If you were just allowed free reign at stabbing people in the back, then there's no reason not to have that up. We want to boost stealth. Your escape here, this is your shadow step, if you will. This lets you minus the necessity of shadows. You can basically just pick a spot on the relatively close by and teleport to that location to get out of dodge. If someone decides to turn on you and they are going to hit like a freight train, and you need to get out of there, that's the way you do it. To point out the difference between weapon focus we got here and weapon specialization we got with the fighter, these increase accuracy with the weapons, and the specialization increases damage. So if we were going to pick one, I just should have looked to see what I had. I think it's a pike or a spear, I don't know. But I don't want to pick the wrong one, so we're just going to go with the safety. I'm going to pick this one, but once again, you got hold the line for your engagement limit increase. Devastating Blow increases the damage for finishing blow. Keep in mind that you only have 2 uses of that per rest, so that may go up later in the game, but I'm unsure as of now. Deflecting Assault increases the rogue's ability to deflect when using Reckless Assault. So if you plan on being a little tankier with your rogue and you want to get in and like lay down in the middle of a group and maybe start getting focused, and you built him with high constitution, you're gonna use a two-handed weapon with some heavy armor with your rogue, and that's how you're gonna play it, then this is that's a talent you might want to select. I'm gonna play a more similar rogue, or similar to a fairly standard rogue here. and go with Vicious Fighting, which increases that chance to convert hits to crits. Plus, with my flanking that the Orlin gets, for focusing on a target that's being engaged by a friendly, I should be able to consistently crit, and that's, or at least that's what I'm hoping. Whether that works in practice, we'll find out. But Dirty Fighting gives you a plus 10% hit to crit range as well. So we're all in all with plus 5 for flanking, for being this Orlin, and the boost we just got and the plus 10 that we get from that initially. We should be critting quite frequently, as long as the target is also being engaged by the warrior in this situation. There's your finishing blow. It has an increased accuracy on the attack, but it does more damage with the less stamina like that the target has. So you definitely want to save it for toward the end of comp, like when they're low on health. That's when it's supposed to be used. That doesn't mean there won't be situations where you might want to use it earlier, but that's best. Riposte. If they miss, if they are attacking with a weapon that goes against your deflection, and they miss, this ability gives you the chance to riposte only if you are nearby and have melee weapons equipped, which we will. So, but hopefully we won't be targeted.
Very well.
So we're gonna move my guy
going
over here. We're not gonna specialize right now in the melee stuff, but BB Rogue is right there. And BB Fighter needs his modal ability on. We'll put him up here. We will activate Reckless Assault on him. We might here in a second on my character, depending on how this aggro situation rolls out. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and move up here.
Yes?
I'm going to move around here because I'll tell you the most problematic person in this group is the Cow Dwarf here. He is definitely going to keep everyone alive, which I don't want, so... And what we're going to do is we're going to pop Stealth. I'm going to hit A. A is your button for like bringing up your weapon to attack like a non-hostile, which is what we're going to do here. And we're going to do the same thing with this guy on this woman. And we're going to lay down some fire. This woman needs to die too, just because I don't like her. And that should be it for the time being. And the fighter is going to attack this guy too. I'm going to actually go ahead and try and knock him down. And I'm not going to activate Reckless Assault right now because I have this guy on me. We're going to zoom in a little bit so we can get a better view. And I got knocked down. Yeah. Whoa, and our rogue, BB Rogue got hit by that. I'm going to try and knock this guy out. It works. Thank goodness my guy's getting back up. I'm going to put these two down. That's what we wanted. Oh, that's what we wanted. Please fix that obsidian, please. We're going to peg this guy. And my rogue is going to peg this priest, because forget this priest, we want him down. And we are going to cast this on everybody really quick. Up here with the priest. John Madden exists, I realize. I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it.
Yes?
Okay, so the priest is hurting, but this guy is hurting me, so we're going to use the priest again. If you haven't noticed in all of the videos I've done, the priest is just so incredibly useful.
Very well. Very well.
Okay, so he's almost down. The priest is trying to blow him. And even though I want to show off that finishing blow, someone got him. BB Rogue got him with a crit. So, I'm going to now get out of dodge really quick and break. They're on the fighter now. I'm going to go on her. And I got a crit Rogue for 29 damage. But she has some resistance to pierce. Probably... I think she's susceptible to slashing. Spoiler. And...
Yes?
Okay, she's down.
Very well.
This guy is really weak to piercing, so hopefully we can get some good damage on him. I'm gonna try and get him to finishing blow. Alright, he's kinda low now. He's badly injured. And that is it. I could have done better. That was a pretty bad game on my part, but to give you, it's one of those things where I'm trying to focus on showing you what the classes are capable of before, so I'm not playing the way I normally play. It's more focusing on what they're capable of and less focusing on what I'm capable of. So don't judge me, but hopefully you guys found the video, like it showed you kind of the way the rogue plays.
Yes?
Like I said, they pick up a blind, I'm pretty sure, at level 6, so there's one more thing as a status effect other than Crippling Strike. And what's good about the blind is it's good against characters that are targeting you, because it reduces their accuracy. So, it's one of those, like this one's less useful in that regard. It's good for enemies that aren't, because Hobble, if I'm not mistaken, only slows them down. It might have some negative, like put a negative on one of their attributes that I'm not paying attention, but I think it's just a snare. So, but I could be wrong. I willfully admit I could be wrong. And I could have probably there in the end swapped over to Reckless Assault. I should have done that, and it probably would have increased the damage I was doing. But all in all, that's how the rogue plays. If that sounds like something, I mean, they're going to be good at stealth. They're going to be good at doing single target damage. I mean, that's their strength. They are going to be versatile. Just, it's like with the warrior, I sit on the fence sometimes and wonder, how good is intelligence with the rogue? Of course, constantly, the question you have to ask yourself is if you can constantly keep a hobble state or one of those states up on someone, and you're doing 1.5 times the damage, does that outweigh might? That's the question we have to ask ourselves, and I'm not the one to answer that. But, if you, I mean, it sounds like it has potential to outdo might if you go with dex and intelligence versus versus might. I'm not sure though. But hopefully you found this informative and you enjoyed the video, and hopefully the Chanter, I'm going to give it a shot next again, and hopefully it does not bug on me. But we will see, and I will hopefully have these videos up by sometime tomorrow, and you guys can enjoy them all at once. So, if you have any more questions about the rogue or any of the other classes I've done, my name is Ganners from the forums. Just let me know. Take care.